Way up high in the mountains of Peru, shrouded in mist, there's this forgotten citadel, a place with these immense stone walls and silent, circular houses. Today, we're talking about Kuélap, the incredible fortress in the clouds.
I mean, just look at this place. This is one of the largest ancient stone ruins in the Americas. It's perched on this remote mountain ridge, looking out over the Utcubamba Valley. For centuries, Kuélap has been just a huge mystery. So you gotta ask, what exactly is this place?
Well, for starters, it's incredibly high up. The whole complex sits at an elevation of 3,000 meters. We're talking literally in the clouds. And it was definitely built to be seen. The massive outer walls soar up to 20 meters high. That is a clear statement of power and defense.
All of this brings up a pretty big question, right? Who could possibly build such a monumental city in a place that's so hard to get to? Well, the answer lies with a culture known by a fittingly mysterious name, the Cloud People.
So, who were these builders? These people named for the high-altitude cloud forests they called home. Come on, let's unmask the people behind this amazing fortress. They were called the Chachapoyas. This was a pre-Incan culture that just thrived in the heart of the cloud forests of northern Peru. And starting way back in the 6th century, they took on the absolutely monumental task of building Kuélap. And get this wasn't just some fort, no, it was a full-blown city. Inside those massive walls, they built over 400 buildings, mostly these really distinctive circular homes. At its peak, it's estimated this fortress city might have been home to as many as 3,000 people.
But you know, the real secrets of Kuélap, they're literally written in its stones. The architecture itself tells us this fascinating story about what life was like here. So let's step inside the walls.
The engineering is just staggering. I mean, can you imagine building these massive limestone walls with blocks weighing up to 3 tons each? And to protect the city, they only built 3 entrances, all designed as these narrow, super defensible funnels. Inside, you had a whole community thriving with 421 circular buildings, many decorated with these intricate stone carvings. They even engineered a system of stone canals to bring fresh water right in from a mountain spring.
Honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around the sheer scale of these walls. The amount of labor and planning it must have taken to quarry, transport, and then place these stones on top of a mountain, it's just incredible. This fortress was built to be impenetrable and, let's be honest, to inspire some serious awe.
But it wasn't all about brute force and giant rocks. Amidst all this massive stonework, the Chachapoyas carved these beautiful, delicate designs, rhomboids, zigzags, and animal figures. It really reveals a sophisticated artistic vision, with symbols that probably represented their gods or maybe the powerful animals of the cloud forest.
Okay, so once you get inside, you find these really unique structures, like this one. It's known as El Tintero, which means the inkwell. It's shaped like an inverted cone, and based on what archaeologists found inside, they believe it might have actually functioned as a solar observatory for ceremonies. And then, in total contrast to that ceremonial site, you have this, the Torreon. It's a 7-meter-high tower in the most fortified part of the city. They actually discovered stone weapons in here, which leaves very little doubt about its purpose, defense. It just goes to show you Kuélap was a city of both ceremony and conflict.
So what happened? How does a bustling city in the clouds just go silent? Well, its next chapter is one of abandonment and then much later, rediscovery.
So let's look at the timeline here. People were at the site as early as the 5th century, but the main construction boom happened around the year 1000 AD. But then, by 1570, after the Spanish conquest of the region, the city was completely abandoned. For almost 300 years, it was just lost to the world, until a local judge literally stumbled upon it in 1843. And during those silent centuries, well, nature just took it all back. As the records say, the city simply deteriorated and was covered by tree roots. It just vanished back into the cloud forest that had been its home all along. But, you know, being found again, that brought a whole new set of challenges. And today, this ancient wonder is facing entirely new threats. A few years ago, a modern cable car was built. It turned what used to be a multi-hour hike into a quick 20-minute ride. And that has opened Kuélap up to the entire world, making it way more accessible for tourists and for researchers too. And this is the modern reality of Kuélap. It's gone from this isolated site, naturally protected by its remoteness for centuries, to a popular tourist destination that's facing all the pressures that come with it. from more foot traffic to the environmental impact of new buildings and infrastructure.
And all that pressure is really starting to take a toll. The site's been suffering from structural instability for years now, and that culminated in a really tragic collapse of a large section of the main wall in April of 2022. Now, emergency conservation efforts are underway to try and save what's left.
So this is the fundamental challenge, isn't it? As we make these incredible ancient wonders more accessible, we also make them more vulnerable. And it leaves us with a really difficult question. How do we share the secrets of the past without destroying them in the process?